So Gaijin's new edition of the MB326K had a lot of players saying it was very interesting for a cast aircraft at 7.0 for Italy. However, I saw right through it and thought this thing might be very good in ARB. And it turns out I was absolutely correct. The MB326K is absolutely insane in ARB. Now, yes, obviously sitting at 7.0, this is a subsonic aircraft. It definitely has those vibes that I thought would make it just kind of terrible in ARB. It made me think immediately of the Strike Master. I thought it would be very sluggish, very slow, and have terrible weaponry. However, it doesn't have any of that. Yes, this aircraft is sluggish. It's not going to go toe-to-toe with the MiG-15, but at 7.0, you are armed with two 30mm cannons and can feature two 30mm gun pods, which are absolutely worth bringing. In fact, I'd never run a loadout without them. You can also bring 7.62 miniguns and Zuni rockets with timed fuse for miniature air-to-air missiles. So the big con, or the big pro of this aircraft is the fact you get an air spawn, which allows you to get altitude and maintain your airspeed, and then you are able to decide which opponents you want to go after and who you want to start, your engagements with. And I will say this thing absolutely is amazing at targeting bombers. Going after the B-29, it's crazy almost how hopeless the aircraft are unless they have an escort. You are able to quite literally and quite easily tear them apart with the 30 mils. Now, as far as its dogfighting potential goes, it's there, but like I said, don't expect to go toe-to-toe with things like the MiG-15, or if you run into something like some of the other way higher potential dogfighters. Now, I did state earlier this thing is definitely more looked at as a air-to-ground strike fighter, and that's because it is. It is a strike aircraft, hence why it gets the air spawn. In air-to-ground capabilities, you have access to the Zuni rockets, you have access to Mighty Mouse rockets, you have access to 500-pound bombs. So this vehicle is very good at air-to-ground as well. But its air-to-air capabilities just really shocked me. This thing, if you guys don't have Italian air, you really should pick it up and start grinding for it. It is very fun and worth it, worth every second of the grind. In fact, this was the only aircraft I actually grinded for and didn't just get from Gaijin. Now, also in all of the videos, all of the recording you guys are seeing, the vehicle was stock in terms of flight modifications. The only thing I actually had unlocked on the vehicle, which I GE'd, was the 30mm gun pods. We did also have the 7.62 miniguns, but I ended up deciding not to bring those. I don't think they're worth bringing, personally. They make the aircraft too heavy, in my opinion. You lose the dogfighting potential you already don't necessarily have as a much heavier platform. And then the Zuni pods, which, like I said, you can put a timed fuse on for meters. You can throw 600 meter timed fuse on the rockets. At 1200 feet, they will explode. There's a lot of good video guides out there if you're looking for them. I haven't been running those either. Those, I would personally run 2 pods of them for bombers. You can set them for a good fuse, and once you get to the fuse, just hit bombers with them. But I really just wanted to run the aircraft with its 30mm gun pods. And I have never had this much fun in an aircraft in a very, very long time. Like I said, when I looked at it originally, I thought it would be the Strike Master. Strike Master is a great platform, it's fun to play, but it's subsonic, very sluggish. Your firepower is just not there because you have to carry around so many 7.62 miniguns. They just don't do enough damage. It just isn't enjoyable. This aircraft, however, does carry the correct amount of firepower, can dogfight with several platforms you run up against, can have the firepower to take out several of these platforms, gets the air spawn, and can capitalize on it over things like the American F-84 and B-29. And on top of all of that, late game, you have the ability to stay in the dogfights with these platforms like the Su-11, the Su-9, A2Ds. All of these platforms you are able to stay with, the F2H. really the only aircraft I was running into that you'd have any sort of struggle with is the MiG-15 or any other of the MiG platforms that are very nimble. Now, when you're hunting things like the B-29, obviously you have to be careful not to lose your pilot. They do have access to machine guns, but really one pass is all you need. You are firing 4 30mm cannons at these aircraft. There's not a whole lot that they're able to do. And the nice thing is, like I already said, with the air spawn, you are able to maintain your speed and your climb. And as long as you keep it at a, you're not desperately climbing, you'll be able to catch up with the B-29s and then be able to get pretty free kills. And realistically, unless there's F-84s that get air spawn that climb with the B-29s, you should find yourself up there all alone. I haven't really had any games where there was any ground-based fighters that got up there. It's really just the F-86 that, or F-84s that you'll compete with in the higher airspace, especially with the B-29s. So if you guys have Italy Air, this aircraft's absolutely worth getting. It's amazing. It's fun to use. Great firepower. Great dogfighting ability. It's overlooked right now. So this is a great BR. 7.0 is an amazing BR for this aircraft. It's an absolutely insane subsonic fighter. I love this aircraft. I think it's very much worth it. I do want to say, as far as what everyone is saying, it'd be good for ground RB. I'm torn. It's good in ground RB. You do not have access to a CCRP or RCCP or any sort of ballistics computer for bombs or rockets, so you are having to just kind of guess and figure it out, which is fine. It's not that hard to do. Pretty easy to figure out once you know what you're doing. Now, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments on the MB326K. Do you guys think that this aircraft is as insane as I've been talking about in the video? Do you guys think it's worth getting? Do you guys think it's worth the hype? Realistically speaking, 7.0, there's not any other platform I'd rather have, I'll be honest. Yes, it isn't the greatest plane in the BR range, I'm not going to say that. But it's a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun playing it. I think it's enjoyable. And you guys should absolutely look at getting it. Very fun aircraft. Very, very enjoyable. And not a lot of downsides to it. Anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you're not already subscribed, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing and joining the Discord link down below in the description. And I hope to see you guys in the next one.